Droebit, and welcome to Georgian Crossroads. This is Byrne, your host du jour, and today what we're going to do, another kind of pandemic special, but this time we're not going to talk about the pandemic. What we're going to do is, instead of, well, we can't go to movies, we can't go to concerts, we can't go to the ballet, can't go to the theater, can't even go to a puppet show. So what we're going to do instead is take a nice long walk up Mtatsminda mountain, and we're going to go all the way from Mtatsminda Park to Kus Tba. And the very first video I ever did was a short hike up to the spring on the side of Mtatsminda mountain. And you might want to refresh yourself, go back and watch that, because essentially this hike is going to start at that spring and go from there. So let's get going, shall we? So you're going to want to start at Polycarp Street, and there's a little park across from the Russian church, and you go straight up. I cover all of this in a couple of my videos on hiking up Mtatsminda. You don't want to go on the trail that goes to the park. You want to go to the spring. I started off on the main morning that I did this with this beautiful clear day. There's my first goal and destination. It's the very large Ferris wheel, Wonder Wheel. Well, I don't know what they call it. And I'm going to try to get up near that. You can see the trail off on the right there. Although that's not really the trail, that's the old trail. So we arrive at the spring, which was gushing because of the recent snow. The nice thing is they've created these new steps, which I'm going to show you in a minute, and you're going to hike up this way. Now this is Google Earth, but Google Earth is not exactly right anymore because, see, that part of the trail is different there, but it doesn't matter. Once you get on the trail from the spring, and this is going straight up from it, you're going to just go ahead and keep going. I've got a picture of Geoland's Tbilisi Map here. Get that. You really need to get that. But you're going to hike up. It's wonderful. They've built these brand new steps. They're really nice. I tried to get up here like a couple of weeks back, and these weren't here, and then suddenly these appeared. Amazing. And they get you right over. You can see the trail which you shouldn't take, and that's the also refurbished, the trail that goes up to Mtatsminda Park. But this is the trail here that goes up from the spring, and you can see the benches of the spring right down there, and goes up to that spot. So again, this is the trail you're going to want to get on. It's very, very visible as you approach the spring. You'll see it above the spring. Used to be, you couldn't hardly find this trail. I mean, literally a month ago, I gave instructions to a German guy. We could barely find the trail, but I was so amazed. This is what said to me, hey, let's go hiking. And this is the view you get when you get to that lookout point where you saw someone just standing and looking out over the city. So you're already way up, taking things in, and just quite a spectacular view, except for that large hotel, which should not be there. But it accidentally showed up one day. And this is the trail coming up to, and again, the trail going off the other direction, which is a great hike. Look up my video called the Mtatsminda Trail, or the other one on the hike to the spring if you want to know how to get to the spring. And there's the Ferris wheel that I'm trying to get to. So now I'm further up looking back. It is a beautiful morning here as I'm just past the new stairs they've constructed on my way to Kus Tba, Turtle Lake. I don't know if I'm going to make it. We had snow recently, and I don't know what happens after I get over the hump up here, but I am going to give it a try. Off in the distance in the Caucasus, you can see the snow wall. Serious snow. There are clouds just starting to come in. We'll see how they do. Meanwhile, back to Google Earth. This will show you that white building you see there. That is the Wonder Wheel. Right there. So if you keep that on your left as you're going up, you know you're going the right way. There's only one trail. Like I say, it's really good at this point. And I haven't had the courage yet to go on that thing. It's really tall, and it's over the city, so it's quite a spectacular. I want to go up there at night and do that. And here also is the television tower, which I tried to get up to and did get up there on my Mtatsminda Trail video. This is a huge, huge, huge structure. And another view looking down from another height. Don't mind, puts that Biltmore building almost inside. And there's a primitive cross that's been erected out of pipes. I saw these from below and wondered what they are. They're bamboo poles. And they're here to help reforest. There are both deciduous and conifer trees here. Some of them are coming back. Others are, the deciduous ones you can't tell, but I do see buds on them. It's kind of nice. It looks like they'll have the kind of trees that are here, including junipers and cypress and pine trees, and they're reforesting, so that's a good thing. And if you listen carefully, you can hear whistling in the poles. I'm on a quieter part of the trail now, except for a siren off in the distance and the faint hum of the traffic of the city. I am very much alone. There's a little bit more snow around me. Now this is a great place to think and to do the things in solitude that one needs to do, including get some exercise, which I've already done. I'm still maybe about a third of the way on the trail. I think I've got the bulk of the upward climb out of the way, but we'll see. It's still going up. I can see something that looks like a top up there, some sort of satellite dish. My, what a beautiful day. You can see where the snow comes down they look like hills, but they're really mountains. I am at a similar altitude to where the snow comes down on those other mountains, but I think this side gets more sunshine, so although I do see more snow, you never know, I may run into more than I bargained for. If I do, I can always turn around. What a glorious day. There's a man with 3 dogs in front of me on the trail. I'm letting him, he's moving slowly, going up the hill. I'm letting him stay in front of me. Just because you never know with dogs. And if he just had 1 dog, it wouldn't be such a thing. But 3? Well, I came to a place where there were different forks in the road, and this one seemed to be the one that was the most like a trail, although it seems to be a car road as well. Let's see. Hopefully I didn't take the wrong road, but we'll see. We'll see. The thing about Georgian trails is they aren't very well marked. There's not signs at the appropriate places saying, hey, this way. So you have to kind of study your map. And I'm getting the feeling, I don't know what kind of feeling I'm getting. Okay, well, you know what? I'm just going this way. It leads away from the dogs who started all barking. But hopefully it doesn't lead to back down again, because I'm trying to get to Turtle Lake. But what a wonderful hike I'm having. I'm pretty sure this is the road. It looks like a trail, doesn't it? But look how much snow there is now. And the ground is gone from being solid. The sun's hitting it, and the snow's melting a little more. So I'm starting to get a little mud resistance. But yeah, this feels like the trail, doesn't it? We'll find out. They may have only dealt with it, refurbished it up to a certain point. But I'm still going up, which I suppose is to be, I expected to level off a bit up here. Okay, there's one way here and one way here. They're both trails. There's one going down there and one going up here. And I'm taking the upward trail. I have the feeling they all get to the same place. I don't know if you can hear it. There's a low, deep drone. And I thought maybe there was a plane flying overhead. But it's not. It's the wires blowing above me. There's a lot of wind today, so it's a good show. Fortunately, I'm out of the wind down here. But I'll be in it, I assume, at some point in the future here. Again. Well, I am back on the trail again. What I thought was a dogleg was indeed a dogleg, but I didn't see the actual trail. It was just kind of confusing. But it was good for me not to take the downhill trail, but to keep going up. And that little tower there was a nice guide. The trail goes around it. So if you ever get lost hiking this trail, head for that tower and you'll find the trail again. Don't go down. Down takes you to Vera, which would make it a kind of a short hike. Short in terms of just city distance, not the actual length of the hike. Okay. Yeah, I just found the trail, but now what? This is where I consult the map. Okay, so I'm guessing this road comes from the fair. It's the dirt road behind the, well, not the fair, the amusement park. And it's going straight up there. There's also, goes this way. I'm going to look at my handy dandy map and see where I am. All right, so with the map in hand, I consulted the map and I did not go on that official route that Google gave me to go because it didn't seem quite right. It seemed like I'd have to go up too high, so I decided to go this way, and that's downhill. Okay, it's muddy. I'm taking the downhill slope here because the map shows that's the thing to do. I could stay on that other one, and there is a cutoff over there, but that's straight up. Now the problem with this one is the frozen mud is starting to thaw, and so I'm going to get a little mud on my shoes, but that's not going to last forever, I hope. So we will continue on this road to Kus Tba, Turtle Lake. Great winter light here. This was March 4th, yes, still winter. And the sun was warming up the frozen mud, and I was starting to get it on me. Nice little trip in the mud. Fortunately, I didn't actually get mud on me, but what I thought was stable was not. Such is life. From that small tower that I re-engaged with the trail on, along the rest of the way, it's a pretty nice up and down trail. This turned to be the actual trail. So, you know, the hardest part of the hiking was pretty much out of the way, except for when I would meet the snow on the ground a little later, which I'll explain while I'm traveling. And this is looking back at the city as I'm walking. I just had to stop and get this view. This is just completely spectacular, perfect light. And in the background you can see the high Caucasus, the greater Caucasus. And yeah, bring your camera. So we've started off looking out over Vake and Sabertalo. We're coming back through both sides of the river. You can see it once here. Dinamo is actually on the other side of the river. That's the big stadium for football. There was a lot of wind today, and so you can probably hear a little of the microphone bending under the sound of it, warbling under the sound of it as I'm panning here. But I enjoyed the wind. It was actually a perfect day. The nice thing about Tbilisi is it's actually, by European standards, fairly warm in the winter. I mean, it's not Mediterranean, but it makes a cool day like this perfect for hiking. And since I come from Alaska, I don't mind that at all. I wouldn't want to do this in the middle of the summer. You can see the clouds moving. I have sped up the camera a little just so you can get the effect a little better. But now I'm coming to a decision. Which way should I go? I actually made a mistake. That's the downhill path. That's the uphill path. And you can tell where this is because there's a nice place for you to sit right here. Georgians like to have little outdoor barbecues. And I did see a cow patty, so who knows, there may be some foraging bovine creatures. Well, I'm running out of batteries on all my devices. That's what I call clever thinking. Right now I am walking on a snow field. I probably have just a couple of photos left to take. I don't even want to risk taking any video. But also my audio recording device here is getting a little thin on power. But I did take a wrong turn going up the hill where I should have stayed straight, but now I know something. I don't know where this is going though, so we will see. Well, I don't know which way I am headed. It seems like Turtle Lake would be impossible from here, so I might end up down at the bottom of this huge ravine. If I'm going to Turtle Lake, it's going to be another uphill slog, that's for sure. And I can see the other side of the ravine, which I have walked down before. But, and I've always looked at this side and said, I wonder how you get over there. Now I know. Now I'm not sure I want to know. And I've been slipping on this thing. It's just such it's not like fresh snow. A few people have walked on here creating just the perfect slippery walking conditions, especially when going downhill. But we will continue. Well, I found a nice little mound to sit on, and I suddenly figured out where I am. I am not too far from Turtle Lake. I'm right at the back of the ravine. What looked endless is not. This ravine is super steep. I'll try to get a photo of it. And I see a bench on a little hillock on a trail, and I'm going to that trail. I know I am. So it's I'll have to go down and up through the what is now just a kind of a I wouldn't call it a canyon, but just a little a small ravine, as opposed to the huge canyon that opens up beneath it. But what a day. Starting to lose heart there, wondering where I was and how much more. Because one of the things about Georgia is, and particularly right here, as the mountains go back up into the Lesser Caucasus, they just keep getting higher and higher and higher. You don't really get to a point where, I mean, eventually you do, a long time from here, but you don't get to a point right away from Tbilisi where you stop climbing. And so it's quite an interesting place. But yeah, exercise galore, and a sense of being really far away from the city while you're right next to it. Where else in the world? There's not many big cities where you can do that. You know, certainly not New York or Los Angeles or Chicago, London, Paris, Prague. All those places, they have little parks to walk in, but this really feels like you're nowhere near the city. So we'll continue on to the end. I made it to the lookout point, and below me is Turtle Lake. But we'll save Turtle Lake and other things around here for another time. Meanwhile, what a view. It's worth it just for this view. This view is just astounding. And I wish my camera hadn't run out of batteries. just as I arrived here. Good thing I was just taking stills at this point. But pretty amazing journey. And there's that huge cliff that I seem to have walked right above. I had kind of a feeling that there was something kind of scary around there, but here I am. So anyway, this is what you can do in Tbilisi, Georgia. If you got a lot of time, it takes at least, I'd say, 3 or 4 hours. The sign said 2 hours and 5 minutes to Mtatsminda from here. And then it's at least 45 minutes to an hour up the hill to Mtatsminda, and another half hour for me to get to Turtle Lake, and then another 15-20 minutes to get down all the way to Vake Park. So yeah, that's like a 5-hour round trip, even if you're young and athletic, like I am not. Once you get to Vake Park, you can then walk down the road a little bit. There's an actual paved road that goes all the way down to the Ethnic Folk Museum, which has outdoor buildings. But if you want to, that's going to make this a very, very long trip if you do that. So what I would recommend is just walking straight down to Vake Park through all these twisted trails. Just hop over the fence. You will see a place where you can go downhill. Hop over the fence, go down, and kind of just keep the park in mind. You'll just twist and turn all over the place and head towards the park. You will eventually get there. One thing to keep an eye out for is the Soviet memorial to the Great Patriotic War, which will be a large figure. I'll show you a picture of her coming up very soon. And then you'll be down in Vake Park. One thing you can also do is you can start this whole journey from Vake Park, come up there by bus, get out at the park, and walk straight up towards the Soviet War Memorial statue, and then just go straight up from there. So there you have it. What turned out to be about a 6-hour hike up Mtatsminda Trail towards Mtatsminda Park, but not ever getting to the park, and then heading along to Kus Tba, Turtle Lake, and then down from there. I did not film the part where I went down from Turtle Lake to Vake Park. I'd run out of film by then. And then I stopped at the Blauenstein butcher shop, which has the best meat in Tbilisi, I discovered. But we'll save that for an episode where we talk about food and what you can get here. Well, I just want to thank you for coming along with me today. I hope that gave you an idea of something you can do if you need to get some exercise here in Tbilisi, Georgia. This is Byrne saying Nachwamdis, and I will see you again soon.